things are made from one, and in the end, all things return to one.
In other words, one is all.
Indeed, and all is one as well.
All is ultimately of the one. So if all is not included in the one, then all is nothing.
You have passed.
The thin line of balance when it comes to acknowledging your emotions. I feel like this is a message that leans a little towards, those of us who are in a masculine man body and choosing to be more, on the masculine side of things, in essence. And I'm not subscribing to telling, beings how they should be or what's right or wrong. That's not what this is about. But what it is about is, the connection with emotions and, dealing with them within our day-to-day, while we in the motion of doing certain activities. And, through my own little inner awareness and making the quote-unquote mistakes and then doing it, without the mistakes, as far as like accurately connecting with my emotions and going about it in the healthiest way, and then having moments where it wasn't as healthy, as far as the way I handle my emotions. But I've seen that when certain emotions pop up, you could acknowledge the emotion, so you could still acknowledge that, hey, emotion, you are valid, while still continually doing whatever it is that you're doing. Like, imagine if we had to completely just drop every single thing every time we had some type of emotional fit. Now, I mean, again, for a monkish type of lifestyle, or, the extreme minimalist that's like, hey, I could thrive without going to work, and I could thrive without any type of, without being an entrepreneur, without having any passion. I could just sit here and all is well, like, we're not really talking about that type of energy, of course, obviously. But again, when the emotion comes up, like, if we had to just like, oh, all right, just stop everything right now for this emotion. Because remember, I've said this recently about, not letting more so with your mind and body, but you could also apply this to emotions as well. But basically not letting one part of your being bully the other part. So don't let your mind bully your body, and don't let your body bully your mind. And bully by the means of like, allowing your mind to just be like, fuck it, we gonna read all the time and we ain't even gonna care about exercise or eating, you know what I'm saying? And again, yes, there are healthy ways to be breatharians and stuff like that, but again, we ain't going deep into that. But, it's like not letting your mind, just completely control things, aka bully in this case, and not letting your body completely control things. Like, where the body could be like, oh, we just gonna eat pleasurable foods and, and take shits all day, and, not care about mental activity or mental health. We're just gonna, it's all about the body, you know what I'm saying? And that's letting the body bully the mind, you know what I'm saying? And then also the emotions could, get into a bully aspect. Like, oh, it's all about your emotions. Anytime you have an emotion, you have to completely stop everything you're doing and completely merge into that emotion, talk to it, journal about it. And yes, this stuff is healthy on certain levels, but again, there is extreme, there's a balance with everything, there's extreme with everything, and not letting it get into that extreme of like, again, like, oh, just drop everything, Craig's in trouble, come quick. When it comes to the emotions, not like, not completely just like, stopping everything. And so bringing it full circle, like there's a way where, like, so when emotions come up, you do want to, again, be emotionally intelligent in that moment of like, all right, I sense this emotion. This emotion is anger, or this emotion is happiness, or this emotion is grief, and it's grief or sadness or happiness tied to this situation. You could take it a little deeper, in awareness, and this emotion right now is trying to tell me, I'm feeling like this about a certain thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool to have that assessment, but not having to stop everything, every time an emotion comes up. Sometimes the emotion comes up, like imagine, every time like you out, you're an entrepreneur, you out, with your crystals, your artwork, whatever it is that you're sharing, you know what I'm saying? And imagine, you at whether it's a farmer's market or the boardwalk in Venice Beach, or, or art walk in your local city, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case, or you got a brick and mortar, you sell food, you know what I'm saying? And imagine if anger popped up, or every time anger popped up, or every time, a thought of somebody who transitioned and you kind of feel a little sad. Every time that comes up, like, hold on, everybody, I gotta stop everything, I gotta stop cooking. Matter of fact, store shut down, like turn off the lights in the restaurant. I gotta go sit and journal and talk to my emotions. You know what I'm saying? And like do all that, you know what I'm saying? And me, this process, of course, some people realize this obviously, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I like to allow for myself to really, really see for myself, like what accurately works and what doesn't. You feel me? So to some, it's like, oh, of course you don't do that. But I'm explaining it like this so, it could really be understood, because this is, in essence, the way I have gone through the experience, to understand it is because I went through the experience myself, you know what I'm saying? And not just like listening to little one-liners on the internet, or, what a book say, or not, you know what I'm saying? Like I, of course, read books and all that type of stuff about how to, connect with your emotions, stuff like that. But, ultimately, it's like putting all of that like a scientist, like, all right, let me see how this works, all right, change that variable, let me see how this, aligns. All right, tweak this variable a little bit, let me see how this aligns. You know what I'm saying? But, again, just through the experience, you see like, all right, I gotta stay active and stay in motion, you know what I'm saying? Just like a emotion, you know what I'm saying? Because it's funny, like the emotion is energy in motion, but yet, some practices may call for extreme halt or stop, Now there is the little, I could put a little asterisk by this, where in some cases, when certain emotions been bottled up and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, due to not knowing how to express it and stuff like that, then, yeah, it may call for you to like just step back for a second for a nice little while and take a breather, or go lay in the grass somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Do you some Tai Chi, breathe, journal a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Yes, but not just every time an emotion comes up, you know what I'm saying? Because, that's a part of the quote unquote human experience, a part of, let's just say, you know, being the earthly experience, being an avatar made out of earth, you know what I'm saying? Uh, so having that connection with the earth, or, that feminine aspect of the earth, and that feminine aspect of, of water, in essence, it comes with the territory, terror. Almost like Terra story, but it comes with the terror, because terror is earth, but it comes with the territory, terror story, within our avatar, having this experience. But at the same time, again, you don't have to completely stop in it and everything. So to conclude with the solution, in essence, again, when the emotion comes up, recognize it, acknowledge it. Again, you could acknowledge what may be the root cause, because a lot of times that's very valuable and necessary, you know what I'm saying, to prevent being triggered into certain emotions, because when you're easily triggered into emotions, then yes, you definitely need to know the root cause, so you could help yourself to respond, your responsibility, what I'm saying, your ability to respond to these triggers. But ultimately, again, like, be aware, like, acknowledge, like, all right, for one, I am feeling something, and this feeling I'm feeling is this emotion. And that's all you really need at the bare minimum. It's just to not unconsciously be just going through emotions and not knowing what it is and how it's affecting you and triggering you into certain actions. Like, at the least you want to be aware of, like, what this emotion is in this moment. But then at the same time, continue whatever it is that you're doing, you feel me? You don't have to completely stop everything, you feel me? So, with that being said, just felt like a little moment to share that, you know what I'm saying? But now it's a vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now, peace.